welcome to Night and Day. I'm Natasha. Today is going to be part two of the Emerald Tablets. I'm going to break down each paragraph because each paragraph means something. Because I went back and read through it. Because something was telling me, go back, there's something in there. And me, I like to kind of decode things. Because, everything needs to be decoded. And what I see with the Emerald Tablets, when they decoded the cryptic letters, they basically wrote this Emerald Tablets in 6 different paragraphs. Now, in the first 3 paragraphs of the Emerald Tablets, is basically based off elements: mind, body, and spirit. Now, in the first paragraph, I'm going to read it. You could also, too, go back to the first video with the Emerald Tablets. I thought the Atlantean, and listen to the whole thing. And I'm not going to, each paragraph, when I break it down, I'm not going to read the whole paragraph. I'm just going to read probably the first few sentences. And then I'm going to break it down, what that means. Now, in the first paragraph of the Emerald Tablets, that which is below corresponds to that which is above. And that which is above corresponds to that which is below. Now, in this first paragraph, they are basically talking about the mind, the spirit, Mercury, which is the element. Now, Mercury is, if you ever see the planetarian astrology, there's a symbol, it has a circle with a cross, that goes down, and then the ram horns above it. Some of them, not all of them, have the ram horns above it, but that is what the first paragraph is telling you. It's basically describing that, the below is supposed to raise up and become a new conscious mind. Once we get into the end of the last few paragraphs out of the 6, I'll put it all together, and then you will understand. So the first paragraph is basically explaining the mind. Now, this is the second paragraph. Its father is the sun, its mother is the moon. Now, basically, what they're talking about is the body. Now, when it says its father is the sun, they're basically talking about the father is the sun, which is the masculine aspect of the body, which is the masculine energy. And then when they talk about its mother, the moon, they're basically explaining the feminine aspect of the body, which is the feminine energy. They come together, and when they come together, it becomes androgynous, meaning that at one time, before the physical body was about or created, in the universe, there was thought that existed in the universe. And then thought has slowed down and became sound. And this is universal sound. After universal sound slowed down, it became light. It became, the speed of light speed. And then when light speed has slowed down, That's when it became the seven spectrums of the prism, which formulates the physical, spiritual being before it became physical flesh. Now, when this physical, spiritual being formed out of the seven spectrum of the light, the prism, this spiritual being basically was the divine feminine. The divine feminine is basically an androgynous being, meaning that it is both masculine and it is both feminine. Now, if you can understand that, then anybody that knows about, spiritual beings, they would know that the divine is an androgynous being, meaning completely whole spiritual being of both feminine and masculine put together before it was split apart, and then you had man and female. So that's what they're talking about when they talk about its father, the son, and its mother, the moon. They basically telling you, they're talking about the body. Now, the body, now what they're explaining with the body is that it is a ionic salt, which is a structure alkaline. Now, the the alkaline is the opposite of acidic. Now, on a periodic table, I have it written here. Alkaline has to be anywhere greater than 7. Now, what this is telling me is that if it's greater than 7, and this alkaline is basically salt, which is a structure of alkaline. This is our body. If you add the 0 to the 7, then that's basically saying that your blood is alkaline, is 70% alkaline, and the rest of the 30% is acidic. Now, if that is acidic and it's alkaline, then basically it is a charged body. If you think about it, this is why they always say, like, when you get into like a good diet, drink alkaline water or eat like dark leafy green vegetables, because when you eat leafy green vegetables, they're alkaline. So you basically gotta, put this alkaline substance inside, back inside your body, because your body is alkaline, your blood is alkaline. Like, if anybody knows back then, I know, like, I remember, like, when my mother used to buy table salt out of the supermarket, it had iodine in it. And iodine is basically salt. Is basically the alkaline. That's what I was trying to get. A little, you know, trying to like put it all together. But that's what, that's basically what it was. But then over the years, they had took it out of the salt and put like this crappy sodium. But now they're trying to like, put the iodine back into it, which is alkaline. Your body needs alkaline. It has to keep that balance. So this is what's going on with the body. This is what's going on with the blood. And that's basically like a hydroxide, whatever, you know what I'm trying to explain. But basically, when it's talking about that, it's talking about the body, and it's basically saying that your body is basically 70% salt, is alkaline. Now, from that point in the next, when it says its father is the sun, its mother the moon, the wind carries it in its belly, its nurse is the mother. Basically, the wind part is basically explaining that you have to take in prana. Prana is the breath of life. to get you going. That is like your, not your survival, but you breathe in, that that prana, that's the breath of life. And then when you breathe in that breath of life, that prana, you know, you are being nursed by the earth, which is Mother Earth, which is the goddess Gaia. Gaia is Mother Earth. Now, in the next, that was the second paragraph explaining the body and just that little section of, the breath of life, the Gaia, and that's what keeps you living. That's what keeps you alive. That breath of life that surrounds us. That's being given to us from the goddess Gaia, Mother Earth. This is the third paragraph now. Separate the earth from the heaven, the subtle from the gross, gently with great ingenuity. Now, when it's talking about separate the earth from the heaven, this is explaining the soul. Because when you separate earth from the heavens, you're basically explaining that you're leaving the earth and you're ascending to the heavens. This is your soul. Now your soul is sulfur. Now, sulfur is the triangle. It's like a triangle. And then it has a cross. And then in the second paragraph, the symbol for the body, which is, the infinity circle with a line going through it. So in this third paragraph, they're talking about the soul, which is sulfur, which is ether. Your soul is ether. It's fire. Fire is ether. Now, when they talk about like the subtle from the gross, they're basically saying that like the difference between gross body and subtle body is the perishable, meaning that from the time you are born into this earth, your body starts to perish. If you know what that meaning that you're having a slow death. If you think about it, like from the time you came out of your mother's womb, you're slowly perishing. Now, yeah, gross body perish and dies at the end of every birth. Like I explained, when from the first time you enter in this earth from your mother's womb, you're slowly perishing away until you ascend. Now, whereas the subtle body does not perish. Now, the subtle body, the gross body is the flesh, where it says the subtle from the flesh. The subtle body is the soul, energy. And it's basically telling that it does not perish and accompanies the casual body and soul to emancipation. Now, basically, it's saying that for the time being, you are the gross body until it's time for you to perish. And once you perish, you will become emancipated into the subtle body, meaning that your soul will be set free from this body. And then once it's set free from this body, it will basically separate from the earth and rise up to the heavens. And then there's a part where it said it rises from the earth to the heaven and descends again to the earth, thereby combining within it the power of both the above and the below. So basically, what it's telling you that when it rises from the earth to the heaven and then descends again, they're talking about reincarnation. Now, reincarnation basically is immortality. And in this, they're basically telling you that you are a immortal being. So yeah, when it's talking about, yeah, like I said, with the emancipation to be set free, from the body and then descend again, that's immortality. You are immortal. You're an immortal being. So that right there was the third paragraph. I kind of like combined it with the fourth paragraph because that third paragraph, when I was talking about separating from the earth to the heaven, they're basically explaining the soul. And it kind of goes in order. Like the first paragraph is mind, the second paragraph is body, and the third paragraph is the soul. In the fourth paragraph, like I said, when it says glory, this you will obtain the glory of the whole universe. Meaning that this glory of the whole universe is basically immortality, the consciousness. Rise to the soul and then reincarnates and then recycle. You're basically recycling your energy. It's not like I explained, it's not created or destroyed, just like changes form into like another different form, whatever form it chooses or picks. So yeah, you're basically a immortal being, and this is what they're talking about. And then like that was the fourth paragraph, and then I'm gonna read from the fifth paragraph into the sixth paragraph, and then I'm gonna put it all together. And this way was the universe created. From this will come many wondrous application, because this is the pattern. Therefore I am called thrice greatest Hermes, having all three parts of the wisdom of the whole universe. Herein have I completely explained the operation of the sun. Now, in the last paragraph, which is paragraph 6, when he's saying all three parts of the wisdom, he's basically talking about alchemy. Now, when they talk about alchemy, a lot of people didn't like go and really like take the time out to think and say, okay, what is alchemy? Like, what is he really talking about? Basically, what people did was they started saying, well, oh, okay, I know what alchemy is. It's basically explaining that I can turn lead into gold. But no, that's not what the alchemy was talking about. This alchemy is explaining your purpose here on the planet. And the whole time, it was in the emerald tablets. And I just broke it down for you. He basically said the three parts of the wisdom was the alchemy. And I'm going to explain what the alchemy is in the three parts right here real quick. The three parts is purify, mature, and perfect. Now the whole point of you going through different life reincarnations is so you can learn. While you're learning through different lifetimes, whether it's a mistake, whether it's something good, whether it's something bad, it really was a purpose for you to go through these different like reincarnations. And some people may think like, oh, dang, I was reincarnated. And some people do remember the reincarnation. The memory does come back to you, and I had explained that with the memory bank of the Akashic records and your dreams. Your dreams is basically the spirit world. Those are your reincarnation from other life um, times that you had lived. You basically have to like either learn from it, come back in this life, correct it, maybe in the next life you do it again, you tweak it up. And the whole point of this is the alchemy, because what you basically doing is you're purifying the body. One. Number two, when you purify your body, then you get to your mind. You gotta basically that's when your consciousness starts to mature. You start to gain wisdom. You start to gain knowledge. And when you gain this wisdom, when you gain this knowledge, and your mind starts to mature, that's when you perfect the soul. The whole point of this is to perfect the soul. You have to perfect it. That's what we're basically here for. That's the whole purpose of being here and being reincarnated. Because not only are you here to like raise up your vibration, but you're here to basically recreate your soul too at the same time. You're not just recreating other things, but you basically are recreating your soul. You're perfecting it. And that's what they're talking about in the Emerald Tablets when they broke it down. See, the first time I read it, and I usually do go back. Like, I printed it out. It was on my Facebook page. And I do like to go back, read it. But there's something else that's just like, go back and really read it and figure it out. And it's so funny because when I went on my Facebook page and I wanted to go read the Emerald Tablet, my finger was slipping. Like when you on an iPhone or whatever phone you go and the page starts to lift and there's like another picture. So when the Emerald Tablet page on my Facebook page had lifted up, that's when I had seen that I had the elements explaining mind, body, soul, sulfur, mercury, and soil. And I was just like, that's what they're talking about. They're basically telling you all the three different parts of these paragraphs is basically telling you different parts of you. The first paragraph is your mind, your spirit. The second paragraph is your body, the soul. And then the third paragraph is soul, sofa. This is who you are. This is who you are, basically. And it's basically telling you that you're immortal. You are immortal. That's the whole point of that's what reincarnation is. If you're being reincarnated through different lifetimes, you're basically a immortal being. You're not going nowhere. And then on top of that, with you being reincarnated, those reincarnations is basically you going to school, you learning what it is that you need to learn in one lifetime, and then the next lifetime, and then in the next. And with that comes wisdom, comes knowledge. And of course, with that, that's when the alchemy comes, because you're basically transforming yourself. And while you are transforming down here in the physical, you're also perfecting and transforming your soul out there. It makes all sense. It makes all sense. So that is the Emerald Tablets broken down for you in 3 paragraphs out of the 6, explaining mind, body, and soul. And it all comes down to the alchemy. Purify, mature, and perfect. That's all 3 parts. You're purifying the mind so that way you can raise your consciousness so it can mature to perfect the soul. Thank you. And that's all I have for you.